Hey, everybody. We're going to be looking today at how strong players think and how we can mimic that and develop that mentality. And we're going to start with a certain principle. So once I get on the right button, here we go. So let's look at a 9-stone game just to see a principle. Okay, white, black, white, black, white. We'll just continue on here. And the thing I want to show here is that so far in this game, black has created area 1, which is worth 6 to 8 points, something like that. White's created area 2, which is worth 5-ish. They're not equal, but they're similar. And white's having a fairly easy time of it. So it's near equitable. So let's look at another way. So we're going to first ask our question, which we'll get into detail later. Is black weak? Well, his A-stone did just get approached, but hard to call it weak because there's more black stones around. So we go to question 2, is white okay? Is white weak? Yeah, the A-stone is weak. Great. So we're going to be attacking the A-stone. It's clearly inside our area. We're going to attack it. Lots of ways of attacking it, but we're going to do it in Sente. Take away the corner, right? White has 3 ways to go: corner, side, center. He prefers the corner, so we're taking away the corner and we're doing it in Sente. Okay? Now we get back to our original question. Is black okay? Well, the A group just kind of got behind enemy lines. It has become weak. So we're going to defend that. We're going to do it on the 4th line to make sure, because white's still weak, make sure the attack's doing well. So we're going to keep it on the 4th line. We're very much in an attacking position here. Let's have white just defend. And now we ask, is black okay? Well, the A group's fine. The B stone has been approached, but it's got loads of running everywhere it wants to run, so not weak. We're on to the white's A group. Is it weak? Yeah. So we're going to be attacking the A group. It can run to the side or the center. It would prefer to run to the side, so we're going to stop that one. We're going to do it in aggressive fashion. White gets out. And back to the original question, is black okay? Well, you notice his A group did just get behind enemy lines. Some of you are going, what do you mean by that? Well, if white plays, notice black in one move looks surrounded. We're not saying he is surrounded, but black is starting to feel pressure, constraint. We don't like feeling these things. We want to maintain comfort, so there's no questions about it. Yes, we're very comfortable. So black would like to defend his A group. Can we do it? We can do this as we're bothering white. Notice white's got a gap there. So if we stop white from surrounding us, and we're putting pressure on that gap. And let's just stop here because we've shown the principle, and the principle is black has not spent one move attempting to get territory. And yet in area 1, I'm not ready to say that's all hit black's cash, but that's a lot of profit in area 1. What did white get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He has a weak group. So defending, attacking, and we haven't even gotten to taking points yet. Those are the 3 things you can do on the go board. And no one's tried to take points yet. It's all been about defense and attack. Okay, so the principle is, if you're weak, defend your stones. If he's weak, pressure him. And now we're going to talk about, more specifically, the 3 questions. As I'm removing these stones. The three questions are something I came up with 40 years ago. That's when I started teaching Go professionally. Wow, 40 years ago. It's a long time. And this, we call this the list. And it became very well known back then. Nowadays, it's kind of taken for granted. Okay, this, what I'm putting on the board here is not a Go position, but rather it's the three questions. You see these three questions. And let's name the questions. Am I okay? That's the first one. Second one, is he okay? And the last one is, what's big? Taking a big area in Gote is the smallest of the three things we can do. Because when you do it in Sente, it's for free. It's still your move because you just played a Sente move. So if you can get profit in Sente, that's fantastic. That's also why we defend, because we don't want him to get profit in Sente. And that's why I showed the 9 stone game, is we got to see that on a practical thing. Okay, 3 questions. On our hypothetical board that we can't see, someone else is, they're on the phone saying, hey, you know, I've got this board position, what should I do? Well, we ask him, do you have any weak groups? And he says, well, yeah, my A group is weak. Great, we're going to be defending the A group. Now, this isn't all the time in every situation, but all things being equal, yes. And we'll get into that more in a minute. So we're defending the A group. Back to the top of the list. This list is recursive. As we're defending the A group, is there another black group? That's question 1, is defense. Is there another black group that would enjoy help? Well, as a matter of fact, I would like to help my B group. Doesn't need help, but it sure would enjoy help. Great. That's a 2-purpose move. Back to the top of the list. As we defend our A group and help our B group, is there a third black group? No. As we defend our A group and help our B group, is there a white group that we can bother? Why, yes, there is. We have a 3-purpose move. So you see this principle, we recurse through the three questions as many times as we can until, nope, that's all we can do. So here we have an example of a 3-purpose move. In my 50-something years of playing Go, I've had 6 5-purpose moves. They're very exciting. They just do so much work. I'm sure you've all heard of the famous ear reddening move. That was a 5 or 6-purpose move, very famous move. Okay, so we have this basic idea. We got the 3 questions. We recurse through them to get more and more purposes out of our moves. Okay, now we're going to go into a little more detail. What, you mean that wasn't detail? Yeah, it was, but here we go. So we ask the question, am I okay? Very short question, not a lot of definition to it. So we're going to apply a little definition. Are we okay? No, my A group is weak. Okay, so we're going to defend the A group. No, we're not. Why is that? Because we have a B group that is more important and weaker. So we need to know how many weak groups we have. Okay, so we've decided we have an A group and a B group, and we're thinking, great, then I'm going to defend my B group. No, you're not. How come? Because there's a stone on the board that's very important. It's a cutting stone. He's about to capture it. If I save it, he has 3 weak groups, and it's worth about 100 points. Wow, that kills 2 groups. The stone is so important. So we need to know not just how many groups we have, but it's groups or important stones. Okay, so let's type the question out in its full version. You can see it there. How many weak groups or important stones do I have? This question will show you where on the board you should be playing. And as you recurse, you get more and more specific into specifically where. And you start with a large area down to a smaller area, and it's like, oh, it's between one of these. This one seems best. Okay, question 2, short version, as we know, is he okay? I love that question. It's short, sweet, but you don't have the right to ask it unless you understand the long version. How many weak groups or important stones does he have? Because if you can mess with them, you get free profit. That's fantastic. So before we go to question 3, something to notice. If your Go game's lasting 200 moves, that means 100 of the moves are yours. 100 times you're going to be asking, how many weak groups or important stones do I have? Man, you're going to get incredibly annoyed by move 20. So we shorten it. Am I okay? And we just make it a thought. Am I okay? And as long as you understand that you have to check your groups and your stones, then you can just quickly ask, am I okay? Now, for me, it's just breathing. It's just, am I okay? Am I okay? It's just like, I check my groups all the time. When I get confused, and then I'm like, I'm not solving this confusion, I go back to question 1 and I ask it full version. How many weak, and all of a sudden I go, and it clicks in. Now I know what I'm looking for. Okay, so we ask the question, short version, because not only is it annoying to ask the long version, but the answer is usually 0 or 1. How many weak groups do you have? None. How about him? None. 1. Not often you get to 2, and 3 and 4, quite rare. Okay. Once again, this means we get to ask the question, short version, am I okay? Question 3, what's big? Lovely short question. But of course, the question is, how many big areas are there? Well, in question 3, the answer's always 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big areas. There's always big areas all over the place. So we have to be in the habit of asking how many, and then we compare. Now, I found out after teaching Go 40 years that the one area that the student forgets to ask because they make some assumption, well, that's obviously small, I won't even put it in there. That's usually the big one for characteristics we'll get to in a minute. So how many, and then compare them all. And we don't have time here to go into all the details about what makes a group weak, what makes an area big. But just like if you're weak, you want to defend, well, if an area that it's a big area, but it doesn't look that big, but it's his sente, he gets it for free, then again, it makes it more important. Okay, so we have the list. We have 3 questions, and we recurse through them. Let's get back to our original premise, which is, this is how strong players think. Well, that's true, and that's not true. I don't think very many strong players even think, am I okay? They simply have this, it's like breathing. They look at the board and they go, oh, I'm weak. They didn't ask the question, they simply knew it. They noticed it. They didn't notice it, they knew it when it was happening. They are aware of their groups. They're aware of his groups. Why? Because Go is about the strength and weaknesses of groups. That's how we get free points. One thing about free points, That was not Sente. That's Gote. Oh, it must be terrible. It's just Gote. Well, that's all that's available. Is someone gaining points? No, you can't get more than your fair share. That's one of the things about Go. Okay. Equal. It's equal. It's equal. The whole game's equal. Well, you can play a small move. Now I just got less than my fair share. Okay, then you can fall behind. Or, well, that's not less than my fair share, but you're not being very efficient in the corner. It's inefficient. Well, if you can make it efficient, maybe you can turn your bad move into a good move. So again, so what we're looking for is free points in Sente. That's how you win a game. And that's what the strong player is thinking. They're looking around for three things. That's what it's in their mind. I'm breathing and I see his weak groups, my weak groups, big areas. Which one of these has the highest importance? Well, that's a lot to ask from a Q player, to think of all that and come up with the answer. It's not going to happen. But if you go through and ask the questions, am I okay? And you look around the board. You're training your mind to think the way the strong players think. You're looking around for your weakness. You're looking around for his weakness. And you're going, well, he looks a little weak over there, but not that much. But there's a really big area over here. And you weigh those out. And you put more weight on, if I can attack him, it's just not important. Great, then I'll play the big area. And you do the weighing that you can. Okay, hopefully that made sense. There's a lot more to it. And I've had students that had one guy, he writing a computer program, and he spent a couple of years, and he made these three questions into long lists with all how you define them and all the characteristics and all the proverbs, and he really got some detail to it. That was exciting. Okay, I think that's it. Hopefully we had a little fun, made some sense, learned a little bit, and we'll see you all next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.